Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is David Hodge, representative of the Seven Churches. Welcome. Today I'm going to be introducing the Seven Churches from the book of Revelations, which can be found in the end of all Bible books, in chapter 2 and 3. However, I'm going to be working out of the Kingdom Interlinear Translation of the Greek Scriptures because it's the best book out there as far as not changing the translation of the Scriptures, meaning it's translated straight from Greek to English, word for word, which is important for when you are studying the book of Revelation. Now you can find its translation on the Jehovah Witness website, which is jw.org. And once you get to the page, go to the top right corner and click on the icon with the 3 lines. Then you can go to where it say library, and then you can go to online Bible, and you should be able to find that translation, brothers and sisters. Just a little warning, you might not be used to the wording and how the words are placed in this translation, but that's okay, because the important thing is no one has put their own spin on it. Like I said, it's word for word, which is going to be very helpful once we start explaining these churches. Okay, so first I'm going to start off by giving you a general understanding of Revelation, because in order to understand what the 7 churches is saying, you have to have some knowledge of Revelation itself. Okay? So the book of Revelation is the end of all books in the Bible. Meaning you can go to any Bible you would like, and it's the book at the end. It's the last book in the Bible. So, and it describes the end. It describes the end times of the reality that we live in today, brothers and sisters, of the Caucasian nation's rule. And it also identifies the judgment that will be placed on the nations due to their works, due to their deeds, things that they've done, things things that they've done over time. You see? And the Caucasian nation has oppressed the original nation, which is us, which is God's people, for 400 years plus. And not only that, not to mention, they have also been out to kill, steal, and destroy against all the nations of the world, which is the source of their power. So, if you pay attention, you can see results of this here in America, with their corrupted society and systematic destruction of the original blacks here, which is God's people, us, brothers and sisters, that they are constantly oppressing. And they're constantly being oppressed We're being constantly oppressed by this nation who's preventing us from being a nation. So, to sum this up, Revelation is a sealed book that is designed to be unsealed in the end times to release God's people from this evil, wicked race of Caucasian people. So, with that being said, the unsealed meaning of Revelation in the Bible scriptures has been identified by the Son of Man, the Lamb, who would break the seals of the Bible. The Bible would be sealed until this time, and only one would be able to break those seals, which is identified in chapter 5 of Revelation. So with the seals being broken, chapter 2 and 3 has been revealed as a book by itself within the book of Revelation. So remember, the Bible was sealed. And when I say sealed, I mean it was coded. So the general meaning or understanding you would interpret or you would get from reading the scriptures is not what it's actually saying. Some things in there, like if you're familiar with the Abrahamic covenant, those things are verbatim, word for word, meaning that's what it meant, that we were getting out of here, and that this wicked nation was gonna be judged. So there's certain things in there that are straight out, but majority of it is sealed, brothers and sisters. So, and the reason why it was sealed to prevent it from being corrupted. That's why they couldn't corrupt it, because it was sealed. So you can't corrupt something that's sealed. You see? So many has tried to interpret the scriptures, but has failed because the book was sealed. So it's safe to say that many have also attempted to explain these 7 churches and what they mean. However, none of them have been successful at doing so because the Bible was written under a veil, simply saying that it was sealed. So it's impossible for anyone who has tried to explain it without it being uncoded or having the unsealed version from the Son of Man, Suleiman. So, with that being said, most people describe the 7 churches as as it actually being 7 literal churches or congregations in a region or area from the past being spoken to by John, as if these events have already happened. So for those who don't know, we are actually living out the Bible, meaning that the Bible is future tense. They tell you it's past tense, but it's future tense, brothers and sisters. We're living out the Bible, meaning we're going forward. Because anything that's backwards, what good is that? What good is outdated information? It's irrelevant. Anything going backward is dead. And we're constantly moving forward in time, creating time. However, Like I was saying, we're living out the Bible, and the events that the seven churches describe has not yet taken place. And but these events they're going to take place soon, because they're centered around a near event, which is a war that's about to break out. The war that's going to break out. It's an imminent war that's about to break out. That's centered around this book. And right, in this book, this event, if you're familiar with the abomination of desolation, that is the event that this book is centered around. And we can get into that a little more next time. So with that, we're going to get into who these seven churches really are in the book of Revelation. These seven churches have been exposed and identified as the seven European nations. These are seven European nations in this real time today in our world. You see? And four of those churches are dominating other nations who have been under the control of the European nations. And in this book, you have see, they made you believe they have you believing, right? It's John is writing these letters to these churches, right? Like I said, it's coded. So in this book, you have two judges and one liar speaking to each church. The second and the third church in chapter 2 are only being spoken to by two people, the liar and one of the judges. And once we get into this, you'll start to see a pattern of these same three words being used, which identifies these characters. Like I shared before, you have two judges and a liar that's speaking to each church. So when you're reading this, you will see the but. This is identifying the liar speaking. And then you have the works speaking. He represents one of the judges. And then you have the Spirit speaking. He is also a judge. So you have all three of these characters are actual people in real life, brothers and sisters. Like I said, we're living out the Bible, and these three are speaking to these churches, to these seven European nations. And okay, so we're gonna identify, we're gonna reveal who these characters are. The but, which is the liar, has been revealed as Obama. And as we go along further into the seven churches, you will understand why Obama represents the but. But he's the one lying to these churches and deceiving those that section in that nation that he's speaking to, those nations. And then you have the works, which is the judge, he has been identified, or the works, which is the judge, has been revealed as Master Farad Muhammad, which is our God of this time. And if you notice, while reading, he's speaking to each church and he's telling them all to repent. So he's telling them that they're doing something wrong that they need to correct. And if not, he's saying that he's going to war with them, that he's coming to make war with all those that's not in alignment with the will of Allah. So then you have the Spirit, which is the other judge who has been revealed as the Son of Man, Suleiman. He's the one speaking to the original part of each nation, the Islamic part. And he's identifying their potential in the upcoming reality of the New Jerusalem, which is the new reality coming in, called paradise. So he's preparing those people to move forward in time to go home. And so that's pretty much how that book is set up. And it's a lot more other things as well, brothers and sisters, that we're going to get into. But for today, I just wanted to cover a few things with you to so we can connect and we can bring these things together, and it help with the understanding of these 7 churches. So, with that being said, brothers and sisters, thank you for listening to me today. Assalamu alaikum.